Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Vernice K. Bell, owner and founder of 1843 Marketing Agency.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, oh man, she is a superhero, a super consultant, and I'm happy to have met her at the South Florida Black Chamber event, and we've been able to connect at some other events. And if you guys want to connect with us, make sure you check the links in the description because Vernice K. Bell is full of energy, full of just knowledge and experience to help you with your business. Yes, consultants help consultants, and there's enough money to go around. So, Miss Bell, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I am doing absolutely amazing, Kellen, and thank you so much for the invite. I feel like I need to bring you with me so you can introduce me like that everywhere I go. Like, just give Kellen the mic first.
I'll be long-winded, and it'll be. Hey, are you ready to rumble? We have Vernice K. Bell. We'll go. Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? Yes, I'm for that. All of that.
Yes, I'm open, especially when there's plane tickets involved. Let's go. Yes. Let's go.
Let's speak it into existence. Amen.
Yes, in Jesus Christ's name, amen. Let that happen. Tell the people, how did you get here? Your setup is beautiful with your alter ego superhero in the background with the matching hair. But people might think it was an easy road that, you just woke up like this and boom, you have clients, you have business, you have a beautiful office and employees. How'd you get here and how long did it take?
Oh my word. Okay, so I'm about, okay, so for the record, I'm going to tell you all how many years I've surrounded the sun, but every time after that I'm going to be 25. Okay, so I will say that it's taken me roughly 39 years to get here. I am 39 years old, and it's taken about that time for me to get here. However, the last probably 10 years or so, I've really been focused on business development, business growth, consulting, and marketing. So the last 10 years or so, I've really taken the step to step into my own as a business owner, to step into my own as a consultant, and to start doing what I've been doing. So it's honestly, it's taken me 39 years, but the last 10 are, I would say, not even the last 10, like the last 8, I would say, have been really me stepping into my own as a consultant and as a business owner. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's right about, the right time for many people, because if you would have been like 21 talking about I'm an expert and I can help all these people like we have now, you got 21-year-old life coaches, and I'm like, you haven't even done life. And I know you retired your mother and everybody else, but you working real hard on this Instagram trying to have somebody buy something. So what are you, at 21, would you have even been ready?
No. And I love that you said that, because people oftentimes associate with the number of currency, the number of coins you have in the bank with success, right? And it's not always connected, right? There's a certain level of things you can acquire when you have coins in the bank, but it doesn't necessarily grant you the right of way or the path to success. So those are two very different things in my mind. And I think at 21, even if you've been able to accumulate a certain amount of wealth, or not even wealth, because it's not really wealth at that point, I'm just being honest, it's coins, it's cash, it's currency. Even if you've been able to achieve a certain amount of currency at that age, it doesn't necessarily put you in a place to coach someone on how to cultivate and guide them to the path of life, because you haven't lived that much just yet. So, words don't teach people, experience teach. So that's what I think today.
Amen. Amen. And can you tell people your kind of niche of, you know, what type of consulting, coaching, whatever you like to do, you know, for your clients, and give them kind of a range too of, you know, where they need to be, because somebody might see you and hear you and say, oh, let me go holler at her and have, you know, let me give her my last $5. And you're gonna need more than $5, people. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, so for $5, I tell you to keep them, and then what we can do is we can just have a brief little conversation. I'll probably invite you to my clubhouse because you're gonna get a wealth of knowledge there, and it's in a community platform, so it doesn't have to be one-on-one. I think that when I'm live on Clubhouse, I'll give you the game. I'll give it to you. I'll tell you exactly what you need to know, because it's going to benefit not just you, but everybody else who is in the room at that moment or at that time, right? So that's me actually achieving the goal that I have of reaching 18 million women. So I have the goal of reaching 18 million women and men, specifically women, but you could be a guy too, whatever, you know, you choose. But if you want to come to me one-on-one, it's definitely going to be more than $5. So in respects to what it is that I do, I really specialize in helping developing personal brands. Now, personal branding can really go across multiple avenues, because people will say, well, I own a corporate brand, I own a business, and I don't want people to know my name. Personal branding, and the way that I do it, is really just giving personality. It's personifying whatever it is that you came to do in the market, so that when people do business with you, they feel like they know, love, and trust you. They feel like they have a connection with you. They feel like they've had a conversation with you. And I think that in our society right now, we're kind of losing that, because we have people who want to grow these global brands overnight, when nobody really knows who the brand is. Nobody knows what the brand stands for, and they don't feel the pulse of the community inside the brand. So I do personal branding across several platforms, from helping people who are solopreneurs, meaning they're the sole owner, they do all the functions in their business, to Fortune 500 companies, as well as small business owners as well, learning how to take what it is that you want to do in the world and make it personal to somebody else. That way you become a household name. That's what I do. That's what I was born to do, Kellen.
Awesome. I dig it. I dig it. Tell the people, you know, there's an entrepreneur or maybe a wantrepreneur listening right now.
Not the wantrepreneur.
Yeah. Hey, you got to start somewhere. I do not hate on people.
All right.
Yeah, you know, because you'll see them even come on Shark Tank. You know, Mark Cuban will tell them, hey, you're a entrepreneur, but they're trying. And in that trying, you know, at least they took the step and the courage to go this far, where there's somebody who's a genius out there who's so scared to let their light shine. So for those wantrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, what are some of the, you know, top 2 or 3 mistakes that you're seeing people do in business that you keep seeing? It might frustrate you. We're like, oh no, IS Mill, not another one of these.
So first, I'll tell you all a little story. So I have 3 kids, and the youngest of the 3 is 10. But a few years ago, she was when she was 5, right? So about 5 years ago or so, her and I were in the kitchen, and she had a little play kitchen, and she's in the kitchen, and she had her pots and her pans and her fake eggs, and she was over there flipping. And I was like, hey babe, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm trying to cook, mom. And I looked at her and I was like, no, baby, you're not trying to cook, you're actually cooking. And she was like, no, I'm trying to cook. I'm trying to cook this food. And I was like, okay. And to most, that might seem like something to just a minuscule moment. But to me, I reflected back on that moment, and I was like, wow, this is what she sees in me. She sees me trying. From that day forward, I removed the word trying from my vocabulary. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm either doing it or I'm not. So that is one of the first things that I notice with entrepreneurs. They're just trying. So you got to remove the trying aspect, because the trying aspect means that you have one foot in and one foot out. The trying aspect means that you don't have full faith in yourself. The trying aspect means you have so much cushion that you're really too comfortable to be successful. So that's the first thing that I see when I'm working with entrepreneurs, small business owners, and even in corporate America, where they want to have diversity, equity, inclusion, but they're not,
Preach.
they're not right. They're not understanding or understanding the first aspect, which is diversity to begin with. Like, don't include me in nothing where you didn't include us in the conversation to begin with, right? So that to me, that is they're connected.
Yeah, man,
right?
yeah.
So don't
definitely.
try to include me if you didn't have me at the seat, or somebody that looks like me that can represent me in the beginning of the conversation, right? So you're trying to include me in the end, but you didn't diversify the table to begin with. You know what I mean? So that's yeah, remove the word trying. That's one of the first things that I see. The second thing that I see with entrepreneurs is they're so focused on the structure, right? Which structure is important. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to go out here, they want to get an LLC, they want to get a DBA, they want to trademark the logo, they got to get $1 million website when they don't have, and they haven't executed a proof of concept. Meaning they don't know that there's a market or that people actually want the thing, the service, the product they've come to give. So remove the word trying, number one, and just do it or don't. And then number two, proof of concept. You really need to have a firm proof of concept before you actually take the deep dive into entrepreneurship as a whole.
Oh, she was nice. I thought she was also going to talk about y'all who want to have your trade lines and $1 million business credit before you have one client. I thought you were going to, and then try to sell somebody an MLM like you're doing something.
Ooh,
Like,
you better.
yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm glad you said that word MLM, because people think that MLMs are bad things, but really, MLM is a business in the box. It lends you an opportunity to learn how to do something that is so pivotable. That's not even a word. That is so pinnacle inside of a business, right? The MLM, if nothing else, to survive and thrive in an MLM, you have to learn how to do one thing. That is sell. You don't have to learn back office. You don't have to learn product development. You don't have to learn how to build a website. You don't have to learn how to build a team. You don't have to learn how to build training manuals. All you have to do is learn how to sell, the art of exchanging a product or a service for currency. Because that to me, I think a lot of people should start with MLMs. Because if you can't sell anything, you don't need to be in business in the first place. Period. Doesn't matter what kind of business it is.
Nothing wrong with an MLM if it's a true MLM, but most or many, when people try to sell you, they're selling a pyramid scheme, and that's the difference. Is the difference between is illegal. Pyramid scheme is
yes, I was about to say, which are illegal. There was but I'll say this. For instance, right, we could use the story of Lululemon. Right? Lululemon, the little leggings lady who almost went to jail, or she might have went to jail. I don't know. But anyways, I know she was doing some at first. So let me clarify this, because what we're talking about, I want to make sure that people are informed and educated. The difference between a pyramid scheme and a true MLM is a true MLM has a product or service that makes the bulk of the money. A pyramid scheme means you only make money when you bring somebody else in. Right? Or you make the bulk of your money when you bring somebody else in. Those are the two vital differences between a pyramid scheme and a real MLM. So I am talking about an authentic MLM with companies like Pampered Chef. Don't know them personally. I'm not a subscriber to, but I love Pampered Chef. Okay, I do. So like a company like Pampered Chef, where they actually have physical, tangible products that you can sell to earn income. Right? Tupperware, Mary Kay, they're physical products you can earn money from. Right? Do you also make money from bringing people in? Yes, but that's not the bulk of your income. Right? So if the company makes the bulk of its income only by you bringing in other people, recruiting other people, i.e. recruiting other people, it's a pyramid scheme. Right? So, it depends on where the majority of your revenue comes from, y'all. But if it's a true MLM, I really feel like you can learn how to master the art of sales, which is important to any business.
Definitely. And no dig on MLMs. My push was that when you're talking to an entrepreneur, especially a seasoned entrepreneur, I know this happens to you probably every other month for you. For me, it used to happen more, but I changed my face. But when somebody in an MLM tries to sell me, when, oh, you'd be perfect for this. I have more businesses than I'm going to ever admit to you. I would be perfect for a lot of things. Selling an MLM is not one of them, unless you're going to put me at the top diamond thing and you're going to pay me or my company to like do and brand this out or whatever the case may be, bring you on YouTube. But no, don't, if I pay this money and I'm supposed to recruit my friends and family, do you know who you're talking to? I can't recruit. They're going to be like, Kellen, what's up? You need some change? So that's my thing with MLMs. It's just that at a certain level, because I have friends who've become millionaires. I mean, off MLM.
As do I. Yeah, I have a friend that's millionaire status, has the car, the mortgage payment, all that stuff, and so yeah, but. So but you know what, that's true, because your personality is such a go-getter. You're so out there. You roll the dice, you take a chance, and I think you need to have those. Those are very great skills for people who are great in sales. Just so I know they be trying to recruit you. I don't recruited you as part of my team because you're so dope. Like, so that's that. No, I mean, I don't have no MLM, y'all. Okay, don't be coming for Kelly and talk about Vernice said you do MLMs, because I ain't say that.
Hey, I take it. One thing I tell people though, I've never sold anything in my life. I present things and they sell themselves. I don't have to sell and tell you this, that. It's the reason why we don't advertise to this day. Well, because we've been doing this 2 decades, but, but I've never sold anything. You can think of anything, because some of y'all know me and you will Google me too hard. I didn't have to sell that. That thing sat right there and did what it was supposed to do, and it sold itself. And for those who have deep in Google, you can find out. I sound like that. I know, because I am that. And I just learned how to flip. What I'm flipping right now is knowledge and reading those books a week. That's the work for me right now. Then putting other people to work, or sharing a story, or having a great time with great people like Vernice, because we cut up and we've been
doing that though. We've been having a great time. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you. I think I agree with everything you just said. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah. I don't, the game is to be sold, not told. So I have books if they really want to know more. But I want to ask you, with the consulting, sometimes your clients have a great idea, but they say, I don't have the budget. So many consultants, PR people, marketers, they struggle with, I want to work with this person, but they don't have the budget. Have you found any solutions that could help somebody, especially brand new in this business? Because you can't work for, $50 a month until this person blows up, because as soon as they blow up, they're going to ditch you anyway, and they're off to the next. So what would you say to that, 21, 25-year-old who says, I got a whole bunch of talent, they don't have the money to pay me. What can I do?
Well, there's a couple routes. Number one, you could do like I said, and have proof of concept, where you actually take your idea with however many coins you have. You don't need, people think that there is this myth that you need money to make money. No, you need will, you need tenacity, you need get up and go to make money, because you can start with nothing. Okay, you hear me? You can start with nothing and make money. So yes, you need money to scale, but to start, you don't necessarily need a lot of money, depending on what you're doing in business. But 90% of the gamut, you can start, you can do proof of concept with your own coins. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, personally, my team and I have developed a strategy to help some of those entrepreneurs. One way in is we have a low investment entry, right? Not no investment, low investment entry. But it comes with a 3-month commitment. So you can come in at this level, but then you have to be with us for a minimum of 3 months, or else you get put on that do not do business with list. right?
Mm.
You get put on that fired client list, right? But we have that where it's a minimum 3-month buy-in. So you're with us for a minimum of 3 months, and you can come in at the lower level. Also, depending on what your craft is, we work with a few people who have talents, right? They don't necessarily have a business, they have a talent or a product to sell, and we'll say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do some things for you, and we're going to charge you this fee plus a commission, right? So we're going to take our commission plus a fee every time you get paid until you pay us off. And then after that, there and after, then you're on a commission, right? Because I think what people don't understand or overstand about branding and PR is that if I help you, for instance, right, Kellen, you get this. Let's say people, well, first of all, humans are very visual. Okay, we are very, not just men, y'all. I know ladies, listen, I know we be like, oh, men are so visual, child. But ladies, you are visual as well. Okay, I'm just being honest. So human beings are very visual. So what does that mean to you? That means that for me, if I'm in branding and PR and I'm consulting with you, and I take a role as your creative director for the day, and I pull together your outfit, your makeup, the photographer, the scene, and I pull all of this together, and then we go on your social media and we kill it. I'm talking about we kill it for 3 to 6 months, right? For the next year and a half or so, you're going to get traffic just from one photo shoot, right? Because we are giving the visuals that you are this thing, right? So simply because I'm not quote unquote working with you anymore doesn't mean that you're not receiving a residual benefit of my services, right? So I think people need to, I think people need to actually really understand that PR, marketing, consulting, branding, creative direction, whatever, there's a residual benefit of working with people in those fields. And we need to be what do you call it? Accommodated as such. So my investment level, the amount you need to pay to invest in and partner with me, because really it's a partnership. That is not just based off of what I'm going to do for you today. That is based off the residual effect that I know I'm going to have on your business and your brand, whether you choose to continue to contract with my company or not.
Good game. Good game. I tell people with no money all the time, would you give me half your business? Or would you give me a portion if you really want us? Because I my thing is I want to say no first. I want to be like Sam Rothstein in the movie Casino. I want to say no. I want to talk you out of it. Don't know why you want to hire me. You're gonna bother me. But most people don't want to give up any of their business. So then they find money if they really want you. So that's an interesting strategy. Now, you guys on Fridays at noon, and again, links will be in the description. You can come learn the secret art of the brand on how to build it with Miss Vernice. Talk about, I'm going to call it a show because it can air everywhere. And I have already tried to recruit you to be a contributor on this side. So, I want to see more of you. But talk about what you're doing and that giving. And I guess, is that on Clubhouse as well on every Friday that you do that?
So, okay, so we do it bi-monthly. So it's twice a second and fourth Friday, I believe it is, on right now we stream it on Facebook, but it is going to go to multi-platform. The idea behind the secret art of building a brand is to expose people to different types of businesses, right? And so you can hear what other people have gone through to get to where they are. You can hear the types of businesses that they operate. And most importantly, you get to just see them as regular people. So it's not always just, okay, what did you do to build a business? How can somebody build a business? Sometimes it's just like, okay, well, how do you balance being a mom? How do you balance relationships? How do you balance your health? Right? How do you scale? The other day, we had a young lady, Kelly Saunders. Kelly Saunders is a certified Kia master, right? And what she does is assist small business owners with getting commercial vehicles, right? She's a dynamic individual. So I'm like, me, when I was 21, 25, I didn't know people like Kelly existed. Right. So exposing them via the secret art of building a brand, to me, helps everybody who didn't know about her and didn't know about the service and didn't understand. One thing that she taught us, and I never knew this, is how to check to see if a vehicle has been in front end damage, if it's a used vehicle. She went up to like the fender and she was like, you see these bolts right here? If they're not in alignment, this vehicle the bumper has been replaced. And I was like, oh God, for real, say word, girl. Excuse me, y'all, if y'all offended by that, but they're like, say word, child. And she was like, yeah, that, and she took us on a field trip over the secret art of building the brand. And so to me, I'm like, those dynamic experiences, I'm all about it. I'm all about exposing my people. I'm all about bringing the knowledge and the wealth. So not just about how to build a brand, but how do you start a brand and how do you maintain yourself after you get out there, you know?
No, that's dope. That's dope. Now, with building a brand and you're dealing with, people of all kinds, but especially our folks, and you've hinted at, some of this, but I want to know, what is your community give back that you're doing or that you would like to do in the future?
So that is a lot, because I feel like my life in general has been a life of service. For you all that don't know me, I am a U.S. Army veteran. I served 7.5 years. Y'all hear me say 8, but it's really like 7.5. But who want to say 7.5 all the time? So I give myself the grace, okay?
Yeah.
I served 8 years active duty U.S. Army, and after that, like during that time, I just feel like maybe this is my purpose, is to serve. Right, my purpose is to provide a path for my community, however small or big it may be. So my give back, I do it in a way of volunteering. Like a lot of times I go out and I do Feed the Hungry on Saturdays, where we fed over, I want to say 89,000 families in the last year, giving them food and dry goods, meats, all kind of stuff to victims who have been affected or laid off by COVID. I do that. I do that on a regular. I bring my kids and we give back. I love that part. Also, I'm a mentor with Take Stock in Children. I have a young girl. She's a junior in high school, and we meet at least twice a week. I mentor her to help give back to our community. Also, I do community engagement. So I do workshops inside of the community, small business building, brand building, personal development in the community. Also, nationally, not internationally, not yet, but nationally, I host events for women to help them develop personally, to build that confidence that they need to actually start showing up. So those are really my give backs. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but I try my best to make it as affordable as possible, as well as still luxurious, right? Because I believe everybody deserves luxury. Like I'm not trying to have you in the back of the Holiday Inn, no shame, no father Holiday Inn, but I ain't trying to have you back in the back of there looking at me all crazy, sweating, makeup running off. No. Not happening.
Now, you mentioned, the family. How has it been, being an entrepreneur, trying to raise a family? I've heard so many, I like to nurses and doctors and, people in the healthcare professional, to try to get them to become entrepreneurs. And people say, oh, but what about my family? And they need me. And and you always hear like the family is the crutch, where the family really should be the stepping stool of why you want your own business, in my mind. So how has that been, trying to navigate that? Because, that sometimes people always want to scapegoat someone else and say, I would, but for the family, if not for him, if not for her.
Yeah, that you're right. That does happen often. For me, I have seen a lot of families being active duty in the military. Like one of the charges of a non-commissioned officer is actually to protect and care for your soldiers, like the people you're responsible for. So one of the things that I learned as a leader inside the military is that when the parent is happy, the family tends to be happy as well. And we have outside of the military and regular civilian life, we have a lot of people who are going to jobs that they hate, doing a job that they despise, with people that they would like to never see ever again. And then they drive a car that they hate. They live in a place that they hate. So they hate where they live. They hate what they drive to work. They hate when they get to work. They hate the job they're doing. And they still keep doing it, thinking that it's making somebody else happy. Like they're fooling somebody, right? Right there. It would be, I said that to say that most people think that by doing that, they're providing something for the family. They're making them happier when they're not even asking the family what it is that they want. Like, what is it that actually makes them happy? Like, sometimes I survey my children. I'm like, listen, am I a good mom or not? Like, am I doing a good job or am I not doing a good job? What do you want? What do you want from me? What can I do different? How can I be a better mom to you? And instead of just taking my own answer and saying, okay, well, when I was growing up, I needed, more one-on-one time with my mom, or I needed, I needed more one-on-one time with my mom because my mom was a hard worker, right? She was at work hustling to provide, right? I grew up with a single mom, but my children, I work from home. They see me all the time. They don't need more one-on-one time. They need more time by themselves with their friends, So if I was steadily trying to pour down their throats what I needed, which is like one-on-one time, they'd be miserable. But when I asked them what it is that you need, they said, well, I want to go here with my friends. I want to do that with my friends. Now that's an opportunity for us to build real relationship. So I think we can use our families, but in a different way, where we ask them, what is it that you want? How can I be a better mom? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better sister or friend? How can I help you? Right. And I think that if we did that, we'd be actually happier as people in general. One of the other things that I do with my family is I have this thing called mommy's checking out. Like I check out. Like, how you go to the hotel, you stay at the hotel, and then when you leave, you check out, right?
Yeah.
That means nobody's there, like you're gone.
I got you.
So when I'm like going through it and I've been having like a really long day, or I just need some peace time, I would like, listen, mom's checking out. They were like, you checking out, mom? I'm like, yep. They're like, all right, peace. See you in the morning. And they know I'm going to my room. My door's closed. I am in my peace zone, right? It allows respect both ways.
But talk about that a little deeper, because I used to work for CPS as an investigator, and people say, hold on, Kellen, you mean your kids allow you to work from home, do everything you can, do what you want to do? How do they not bother you? Is that neglectful? And I say, well, I've trained them, right? And because a lot of people think that know me, they never meet my wife. Unless you come to the house and you can catch her, you don't meet my wife. That going out where I go isn't her thing. So when you're doing a single parent thing, how do you, when you check out, or do they, have to say, hey, dad, mom says she's checking out. We got to go over here, whether he's on the other side of the house or he's on the other side of the country or whatnot.
So checkout doesn't mean that like I'm not there. It just means that I need some time to decompress, because I have said to my children before, like, because I'm so transparent and honest. I'm as honest with them as I can be. And I'll tell them, like, listen, let me tell you something. When I'm already frustrated and having a real hard day, it's hard for me not to blow up about something that's not a big deal with me and you. So just give me a moment and let me get it together so I don't fuss at you for no reason. Right? I say that to them. So when like, listen, so they're able to help me. Right? I'm serious. They're able to help me. And so we'll be going through something and my son might say something. I'm like, boy, now you know. And then and he was like, oh, you had a long day, mom? And I'm like, yes. He was like, okay, you know what? I love you. He give me a hug. He going about his business. right? That's because I'm honest with them, right? And so like oftentimes they help me. They help me in business. Like my son might come set up my lights in the studio. My daughter might help me pick out my clothing, or she might say, Mom, wear these shoes or pack my bag. Like, or my son might put the stuff in the car if I have an event. Like they're a part of my entrepreneur journey. They're not separate from it. So I think that's one of the keys. I'm a single mom, but I think that's I mean, I co-parent with my mom. My mom be helping me, y'all. I got my mom a dope. My mom and my daddy, they're dope. But yeah, I'm a single mom. But for me, number one, being transparent with my kids and including them as much as I can. Like my daughter always asks me if, Mom, can I come to your events? And I'm like, well, first of all, let Mom get it together. Once I know exactly how this is going to flow and I have a system in place, then you can come. Until then no, you know? So
Really? That you okay, you do that? They've come when I had a radio show. You 2 years old, you sit there, eat that apple for 2 hours because I had no choice if I wanted to get stuff done. And they got to go do some events next week with me. And they're like, huh? We gonna be out of school? Yeah, tell your teacher, we'll catch up. You gotta come. And I'm bringing them to a casino-ish type place. And then we're, somewhere in Miami. And I'm like, y'all just got to roll. But they've gone to clubs with me before. And people, not like during the day, we're gonna do an interview. But they've been to a nightclub in Cameroon. It's different there. It's different in Africa.
I don't. Number one, like I said, I'm fortunate enough to have parents that can help me in that area. Because
that's a blessing.
Because as an entrepreneur, it's especially when you're first getting started, you have to do those things where hey, come with me here. You know what I mean? But, God blessed me with a child as a teenage mom too. So I also have an older daughter who's able to, she's in college now, but before she went to school, she was able to say, okay, take over the fort. Mom's got to go work, So I've always had a great support system. So I really honestly, I can sympathize, but I don't know what that actually feels like because I haven't had to deal with that per se.
Well, that's a blessing. Thank God for parents that are alive, well, and willing. That's a beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And also thank God, if you guys get around women, because sometimes, women will have a time and people will say, oh, is that menopause? No, sometimes it's just something you might have done. But take word of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, when it says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Sometimes you gotta know when to go left and be like, hey, it's all right. I catch you on the flip side. It's okay. Cause it ain't no arguing with a woman when she is like that. And, men, we might have our times, but we don't admit it. We chalk it up to something else. We chalk it up to,
I really appreciate that. One of the biggest conversations we've been having lately, or what I've seen repeated and lately throughout the platforms, and I really can appreciate it, is talking about postpartum and how it really affects women. And it's not just, and I'm saying this for, a lot of times women want to start businesses at home after they have a baby because they want to be home, right? Most times postpartum, actually not most time, postpartum can start up 3 to 6 months prior to giving birth. And it can last up to 5 years after birth. So really, during that time, we are re-identifying ourselves. Like we don't really know who we are anymore. Our body just gave birth to a human being. Like that's a real, like, life-changing event. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, nutritionally. Our bones change, our mind shift. Everything about who we've been changes. And emotionally and mentally, we have to readjust. So we really become brand new people after we have a baby. And helping, I think I've heard a lot of our brothers, shout out to them for the men who are actually engaging in the conversation and furthering the conversation. a lot of men, brown men, I would say, have been stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, thank you, sisters, because I did not know that. And just like you were saying, like sometimes it's not that we're really mad with you. We're just trying to figure out, it's a new situation for us. It's like we're a whole new being. We can't respond the way we used to respond. Now we got to evaluate this. Like, does this still work for my life? Because think about this, right? Think about this. We give birth to a whole being. And now, right now, our life is devoted to nurturing, protecting, and taking care of this human life. And I know men have a very similar journey, but the baby didn't come out of y'all. So like our level of responsibility the level of responsibility that we feel inherently is just night and day different.
Well, if the baby came out of us, none of us would be here, because that would have happened one time and we would have all been done. And what I tell men is, and I learned this as a teenager. When my mother was alive, and I would see how my pops, he's still alive, he's smooth. But you're either, post-menstrual, pre-menstrual, or through it. So you never know where the body will switch, and how, like, everybody is different. So if one person has bad cramps, that don't mean the next person has bad cramps, or whatever that case may be. So you got to take it as people being people, and we're all a little crazy, if not a lot. So just kind of just understand and be able, as a captain of your ship, being able to see the waves and being able to ride the wave and know, and your waves are kicking. Your waves are kicking. You're the reason why some of us say, let me just grow these love locks out, because them waves ain't gonna kick like that. But no, can you educate a young person right now, because you also went to college and you have got your education on and on, but what made you go to the military? What did the military teach you that college couldn't, and vice versa?
So I'm gonna be honest with the people out here. So I did go to college, y'all, right? I did. I went to them people's schoolhouse, right? And they ain't like me in there. Like, I'm sure every single professor did not like me. They didn't like me. Their grade books didn't like me, and nobody at the schools liked me, right? They did not like me at all. Like, they were so mean and disrespectful, and I don't even like. They didn't like me, y'all. Anyways, I'm joking, but I did go to school. I did go to school, but here, I'm gonna just be real flat out. Tell y'all how it is. I went to college, and I could not understand the different. This is gonna sound real conceited, y'all, but that's okay. I could not understand the difference between me and them, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, where did you get the information to put in this book? Where did you get it from? Like, these people who wrote these school books, where did you get this information from, right? And what's the difference between where you got your information from and where I got my information from, right? Because I believe there's a universal power, and this universal power lives through all human beings and every living creature, right? So if you can get your information from them, I can get my information from them too. From the Most High, I can get my information right there. And so I went to school, and I did okay in school, but then I decided that I was going to go to the military. So I went to the military just because it was a calling. I can't say anything else except it was a calling. I always wanted to join the military, and I did. After exiting the military, I found out that I was on my biological father's side, fourth generation U.S. Army. So not my father, but three of his grandfather lineage had served in the military. So after I served, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's in my blood. It's just a thing that we do, I guess. But now here's the tricky part. Here's the tricky part, Kellen. And I'm going to tell this to all the listeners who are just getting started. Don't ever doubt your path. Don't ever doubt what you believe you were born to do, because There were some things that I needed to learn in college, yes, and I still need to go back. I'm going to be honest. However, I am now invited to guest speak at colleges about building businesses, about entrepreneurship, about experiential marketing. They're inviting me, Vernice, can you come and talk to our MBA students? Can you talk to our entrepreneurship program? Can you talk to our masters of business? Can you talk to them? Because we need what you have, right? So I want you all to understand that yes, college is a path. It is a path, but it's not the only path, right? It's not the only path. And also, just going to college doesn't make you a subject matter expert. It doesn't mean that you actually are great at this skill. It just means that you were able to pay attention and regurgitate information that they showed you in the book. No harm, no foul to those with degrees. I'm just saying, because I know writing thesis papers is a beast. I know that. But right. But what I'm saying is that just having a degree doesn't grant you that notoriety that you think you need.
Preach. I tell people, if you don't know what you're going to school for, don't go. Figure something else out. I tell my kids, you don't have to go to school. You know, even right now, what they go to school for, I say, when you going to listen to that? Listen to teacher, don't listen to me. But there's so much that we had to spend our time, I call waste our time. And I was a terrible student until I got to college. And then it was easy where I was teaching the class because, oh, you talking my game, you talking money, you talking marketing, communication. I was doing all this while in high school, while coming into college. So this is what I'm doing. So I totally get it. Let the people know where they can find you, your company, your beautiful website that I saw, and really connect, especially for those who are looking to hire and level up. Where can they find you?
Thank you so much for that. Listen, everybody, you can find me on all platforms, Vernice K. Bell. That's V as in Victor, ERNICE K Bell, on all platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And you can also find me at vernicekbell.com. If you want to do business with the company side, branding, marketing, that sort of thing, then you can find me at 1843.com. The number 18, the words 43.com.
Awesome. You guys have been blessed by the game. Whether you are listening on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, or our latest partner at AYB Radio in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Salon Bobo, all day. Our YouTube, let's the YouTube numbers kick up. Either way, wherever you're tuning in, make sure you share this game with somebody. It will change their life. Y'all be blessed.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.